This is a continuous improvement movement reserved for the few with the grit to prove it. Everybody.
Good morning. This is Maria, and I am here with my co-host, Calvin Williams, and this is the Ticket to Freedom podcast. On this podcast, we discuss continuous improvement as it pertains to current events. Today, we are going to discuss this article called Cultivating Continuous Improvement Culture in Manufacturing Industries Through Kaizen. This article is by the This Day Life magazine. Calvin, this article is talking about how small incremental improvements is the key to long-term growth in operational excellence. What do you think about that?
You know what? I am so glad you asked because this is something that's always on my heart when it comes to operational excellence and continuous improvement. Because what many companies do, and we read a stat on Friday's episode that said, we haven't seen a lot of economic productivity, right? Especially from the most significant companies in our market. We haven't seen a lot of productivity growth since the financial crisis of 2007, 2009, right? But you have seen a boom in operational excellence programs. So what's really going wrong? And honestly, I think this is at the heart of it, right? It's the idea that, hey, we're going to hire somebody, we're going to give them a title of OpEx, we're going to have this OpEx department, maybe a whole team. But then they say, well, the function of that team is to go out and lead major projects that's going to, set us up for a better position in business, right? Get us better results. The problem, and this is at the heart of the problem, is that they're not necessarily practicing true Kaizen. And Kaizen is, to your point, small incremental improvements over time, which requires what? Our favorite word starts with a D, discipline. So in a sense, they're looking for a magic pill to fix their culture. They're looking for a quick fix, culture fix, right? And the reality is you just don't get the kind of results that a company's looking for, long-term sustainable growth and development from those quick fixes. In most cases, really, it comes from the consistent incremental improvements, 1% every day, base it every day type of mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that when you go for those big projects, you're not really building a culture of continuous improvement, right? Because you're not building that muscle of
Right.
improving something important, no matter how small, every single day. And you don't get into the habit of engaging the entire organization because you have your small team that's going to go tackle that project, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I got an analogy that I like to use when I talk about this. It's the baseball team that goes out and tries to hit a home run every time at bat, right? The baseball player. Most of the time they're going to strike out. Once in a while they're going to hit a home run, right? And that home run is going to cause all kind of excitement and people are going to go crazy, and that's what the fans like to see, right? That home run. That's why they watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the superficial fan anyway, right? True fans are looking for different things, but the superficial fans just want to see home run hits. The team and the players that go out and make consistent base hits, you can almost take it to the bank that they're going to get on base. And if you got a whole team that operates under that mindset, then you really got something powerful, right? It's the team that has consistent base hits day after day after day after day after day, bat after bat after bat. That's impossible to beat. And that's really what you're going for. You're trying to create a company that's impossible to beat.
That's right, Calvin. And this article highlights the key principles of Kaizen that should be in consideration throughout the organization. And they cite employee engagement, which we talk about, engage the entire organization. There is always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Yes. Use of standard procedures, elimination of waste, incremental changes, little changes at a time, and root cause problem solving.
Absolutely.
So we have the main struggles that are poor management practices, excessive waste, outdated equipment, and unskilled labor. So when we get those struggles and then go ahead and apply those Kaizen principles, we can move the industry forward and position it to compete at a global level.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you're touching on two major points, right? That are, I think are great points, right? One, it's the tools. Okay. There's the 5 whys, there's the Pareto, there's the value stream mapping, there's all the tools, right? That's one thing. Knowing how to use tools is one thing. It's like a home builder who has a hammer, right? Now a hammer is only useful if you got houses to build, right? Or that, the intended use of that hammer. It's only helpful if you got houses to build. In most cultures, they go tools first, but they don't create the demand for continuous improvement that requires you to use those tools.
Mm-hmm.
And what creates that demand is creating a culture of Kaizen first, right? So I actually like to tell companies, hey, don't worry about all the tools of CI. Worry about start making improvement, start making incremental improvements every day, right? Get people improving, get people on that track to building the habit of improvement. And even if you can get to daily improvement, that's even better, right? Because once you have that habit, then you got to sort of feed that habit, right? You got to get better at getting better. And that's where the tools come in. So where companies are doing is they're essentially putting the cart before the horse. If you look at Kaizen as the horse and the tools as the cart, people say, let's go with the cart, but they don't put the horse to actually make that cart useful, right? So they don't put the Kaizen to make the lean tools useful. So they never developed a habit. And like to your point, it takes, I think, 21 consecutive days of doing anything in order to form a habit. Make an improvement 21 consecutive days. Then all of a sudden, the 5 whys and the Paretos and all that stuff, those high science tools become a lot more applicable. All right. On that note, Maria, as always, thank you so much for joining me for this. It's been a great pleasure. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. So thank you for setting the stage for this conversation. Make sure to check us out tomorrow on the Ticket to Freedom podcast, and let's get better every day.
Just in time, not a second slow. From the top flow to the shop flow. Come on, everybody, let's go.